As you remember, when we talked about the new format RNAV approach procedures with terminal arrival areas, we said that RNAV stands for Area Navigation. Area navigation systems give you the ability to fly to any predetermined geographical position or waypoint. Say right there. You're not limited to where ground-based nav aids have been placed, and they can compute your airplane's position, actual track, and ground speed. You can easily understand why GPS is considered to be an RNAV system. But there are other RNAV systems out there besides GPS. INS, course line computers using VOR, DME, and LORAN. Any certified system that can have you fly to a waypoint will let you fly an RNAV approach. INS stands for Inertial Navigation System, and it's the 800-pound gorilla of area navigation systems. INS is a sophisticated motion sensing system that has generally been used by the military, the airlines, and corporate big iron. On the other hand, both VOR DME course line computers and LORAN systems found their way into extensive general aviation use before GPS came along, so you may still see them in older avionics stacks. LORAN, or Long Range Navigation, is a system that uses 4 to 6 very low-frequency ground stations to provide RNAV-type navigation over large areas, thousands of miles. Although GPS really makes LORAN unnecessary, LORAN has been kept as an en route backup to GPS. But the FAA is canceling LORAN approaches in favor of GPS. Now, what the old-timers call RNAV is VOR and DME nav radios, combined with a course line computer like this KNS-81. The unit constantly calculates the aircraft's position based on VOR radials and DME distances. It then displays the direction, distance, and time to a specified waypoint. Many units will also display the aircraft's ground speed. To do those calculations, the system has to be within the service volume of a VORTAC or VOR DME. That's usually not a problem, but it could be depending on how low you are. And since it's based on VOR radials, VOR DME RNAV accuracy is not near as good as that of GPS. Plus, it degrades as the aircraft gets further away from the nav aid. But a number of approaches were designed for IFR-approved RNAV systems. You'll still see some around, although most also wear an OR GPS title. The big difference you see when flying an approach with a VOR DME RNAV unit instead of a GPS is that the VOR DME RNAV unit does not have stored approach procedures that you call up from a database. So you must enter all the waypoints yourself and then select each one as you step through the procedure. Let's take a look at the VOR DME RNAV or GPS Runway 5 approach into Chicago-Waukegan Regional near Chicago, Illinois. You can see waypoint symbols at Waukee and at Leisure. Focus for a moment on the information box for Leisure. You can see that it is the initial approach fix for the approach, and inside the box are both the geographical coordinates of that waypoint and the radial and distance from Northbrook, VORTAC. With a VOR DME RNAV unit, you enter the waypoint using the radial and distance from the VORTAC. So here, you would tune the RNAV unit to Northbrook 113.0 and enter the waypoint as 335.3 degrees and 6.7 nautical miles from Northbrook. Your course line computer will now give you direction and distance to that waypoint. You know that you have crossed the waypoint when the flag on your nav indicator goes from a to flag to a from flag. At that point, you select the next waypoint in the approach. As you follow along the course, you see an unnamed fix marked Final Approach Fix, and the information under it tells you that it is 5 nautical miles from missed approach point waypoint. Next, you see a step-down fix at 2 nautical miles from the MAP, followed by the MAP waypoint. 2 job. You would enter the MAP in the RNAV unit as 014.4 degrees and 12 nautical miles from Northbrook. The missed approach holding waypoint WALKIE is 022.8 degrees and 15.9 nautical miles from Northbrook. So you have a total of 3 waypoints for this approach: the IAF, the MAP, and the missed approach holding fix. You enter all 3 waypoints ahead of time in the RNAV unit, then select them as you need them. By the way, if you're doing the holding pattern course reversal to start this approach, how do you know when to turn inbound? Well, you would have leisure selected as the waypoint in the RNAV, and you'll get a distance readout from leisure. So you would turn inbound at 4 miles from leisure. As you can see, over the years, a number of different systems have been developed to let you do area navigation. So if you find one of these systems installed in an airplane you're flying, spend some time learning how to take advantage of its features. These older systems aren't nearly as handy or capable as a GPS, but they can still be useful, especially if that's all you have.